G'day and welcome to City Skylines. We're back in Amity Bay, a modded Let's Play series on my channel. So today I want to venture into the world of hotels and retreats, and I've got my eye on the cute little rental cabins. I think they look so nice, and I think they'd really suit a nature reserve type build. We have this piece of land that stretches along the coast here, and in all likelihood most of this coast is going to be big, beautiful high-rises, like we did in the suburb just here, which I've named Hallandale as a nod to the inspiration we took from Miami. But it might be really nice to break that high-rise coast up with some green spaces and a nature reserve style park, with some rental cabins and outdoor activities. If we jump over to the new hotel locations info view here, for the rental cabins there's two main requirements, nature being one, so we're good there, then sightseeing, of which we're severely lacking, but I think when we get the nature reserve up and running we can influence that. Well, I'm hoping we can, or this will be a pretty quick video. So that's the plan. I think what we'll do as well is bring in a bit more residential behind it to fill in the gap, but I'll just do that off camera like I've done previously. Alrighty, time for me to speed build this out, and while I do that, let's fast forward. Okay, let's take a look. So at the gate, I've put in some small parking lots to allow those Sims who want to drive here and park to do that. Then we have the nature reserve main gate here. Now the rental cabins need a road, so like we did in our festival area build, I've used the Chameleon TBN paths as road assets here, and then cars can drive on these, but it still gives us that nature reserve look we're going for here. The tricky thing then is that when we run the actual nature reserve paths around, they won't connect to these. You can run them up to them and the path connection will join, no issue at all, but you can't branch off it, just like you wouldn't be able to do that with a normal road. So with that in mind, you'll see a few places here where I've popped in a walking bridge over the road here so we can get path access all over the reserve to put in our assets. Around this side, I've clustered the cabins together in little groups, then along the water's edge added viewing decks, little fishing cabins, as this would be such a cool spot to come and fish. I just love the idea that there is a monstrous busy city sitting right behind this, but I bet it is completely peaceful and quiet in here. Around this side, some of the lean-to shelters with fire. Went in with some tents in the very middle here, as some Sims could come and camp using those if they didn't want to go for a cabin. Some more fishing around this side of the reserve. Then a couple of hunting cabins as well. I'm going to put a fence up as the boundary along this side, but make sure there is plenty of forest so you could come in and hunt if that was something you wanted to do. And that's all there is to it. You'll see in the background that Hallandale has expanded, so that just fills in the space behind the reserve nicely as well. We've managed to get this to a level 4 reserve so we could unlock the fishing and hunting cabins which I wanted to use. And if we take a look at some of our rental cabins, I've renamed them all and then you'll see they're doing pretty well so far. I had to pop in some forestry there to get that nature requirement up, but they're trundling along and making us some money, so I'm happy with that. Now it's time to detail this and make it look like a proper nature reserve. let's see how this turned out. You can see from this top view that I've gone really heavy on the trees to try and brace that heavy developed city from encroaching into our nature reserve. And that should help blanket the noise as well. Then as we look towards the water's edge, the trees are more sparse and spread out. So some piles and fencing here for the little car park. No fencing around the nature reserve main gate, as we have fencing right around the outside of the whole nature reserve itself instead. Then as we venture in, there's a few lookout towers dotted about, and the idea here with making sure there isn't really heavy forest around these is so you can actually see something if you're up the top. I'd be hugely disappointed if I'd gone to the effort to climb up the top of this, look out and see nothing but trees. Then the rental cabins themselves, so each one is detailed slightly differently here, some with deck chairs. The asset actually just comes with one strangely, so I've added a few more in there. Some have barbecues and seating, so just adding to those and making little outdoor eating areas for them where it felt appropriate. Some I put down a decal or two to create a more formal eating space, others I just left with dirt. I've also gone in with a few Mr. Mason pines. I know pines aren't part of our tree palette on this map really, but these look so good with these cabins for some reason. I just love that vibe. And who doesn't love a Mr. Mason tree, right? They are next level. A few lookouts to take advantage of that cracking view. This little cabin here, I used the stone decal. How cool does that one look, by the way? I love it. Then into the middle here, some tent camping side assets, and then I've popped a few more in to bolster that, as I think these two campsites would be quite busy in reality. Little lean-tos and campfires here and there, with wood piles next to them as well. Then these hunting lodges, just with a bit of nature reserve fencing around them. Same with the bigger one down here as well, but with a few more assets here, a loo, more seating, and a campfire. Then over this side, I've used Lookout Tower 1 as a hide. You know those camouflage shelters that hunters use or that you can use to observe animals at close quarters, and I've removed the lights from these paths along here, as I would imagine you would want total darkness to do that. So I've put that here with a loo next to it, because if you're on a stakeout for a few days, you'd need the loo at some point. Then with Lookout Tower 2, that's a normal lookout for Sims visiting the reserve. And what I've done here is take out some trees in the sight line for these, so again, if you're up the top there, you get a cracking view. And there we have it, Hallandale Nature Reserve. We've nearly got this to level 5, which is great. Oops, just realised I'd left the ticket price at 0. I was trying to maximise the Sims coming here so we could level it up. And if we check out these cabins here, yeah, they're all pretty happy in terms of the popularity rating. I mean, they're not making us millions, but profit is profit, right? Let me know what you think in the comments below anyway. A few weeks back in her series Nuketown, Joy Builds Cities gave me a shout out and she was talking about my channel and my videos. Then she mentioned this little roundabout here and that during the video where I built it, she just loved it. I chuckled so much as she said, he built a lot of other stuff, but I just love the roundabout. I love that. So Joy, I'm going to name this roundabout in your honour. If you haven't seen any of Joy's content, she's a great City Skylines content creator and has so many cool series on her channel. Nuketown, which is a beginner series where she builds all small towns, each focusing on a different DLC or CCP. Garden City, focusing on green spaces with a heavy focus on walkability. Tons of great content, so definitely check her out. I'll drop a link to her channel below. Well, that's it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. If you're on Discord, jump over to my Discord community and say g'day. And until next time, take care, have a great day, and thanks again for watching.